Deep breath. So thank you, Internet. Thank you to the Be Live, my virtual studio. Thank you to my getting over my anxiety about social media and virtual reality and jumping in with 2 feet. This is, I think, number 221
Wow.
broadcast of my facing my fears. So my name is Dr. Tovah Goldfine. This is TMS Roundtable Recovery, Healing Chronic Pain and Autoimmune Symptoms. We've been doing this for 3-4 years. Many years ago with Rose, who passed away this summer. It'll be a year, and she is in our heart, and she is in our studio, and her energy will always penetrate deeply into what I say and what I learn. We miss you, Rose. So this is I don't usually do this, but this is going to go on YouTube. After this is a live recording. It's on my Facebook page, TMS Roundtable Recovery. It will go upload to my YouTube channel, which I don't advertise and say subscribe to my YouTube
Why
channel.
not? Go ahead,
Yeah,
say
why
it.
not? Marmelo. So, what's wonderful tonight and today in California is that we are live all over the darn globe. And I have been with iLan. This is our fourth time because I was with iLan on his show, which
Oh
is a
yeah.
fascinating show called Abracadabra. What we speak, we
Create what you speak.
create what we speak, which is an
Yeah.
incredible word and concept. iLan was with me in Marav in the Hebrew Roundtable. You were with me in Rose. We have a wonderful show about sound therapy. And I thought this is great stuff. This is interesting, and then it kind of like takes its own world. And then all of a sudden, a month ago, I start to do some meditation with this theta sound. And I start to understand more. And all of a sudden, people are talking to me about vibration and frequency and sound therapy. And then I see this amazing movie called The One Field, which is
Mm.
free on the YouTube, created by an Israeli. Amazing movie with many different healers, Dispenza and Bruce Lipton and Lee Carroll and Lynn Matarget, and they're studying prayer and the energy of prayer and how we can affect. And in it, there's a scene, iLan, where they're playing music and watching blood change, and then they scientifically test the blood. I keep wanting to understand it. I thought I could maybe get the clip,
Mm.
but it was fascinating to me. And I remembered because the blood was reacting to the sound. And I thought, this is not new age. This has been around for a long
This
time.
is
And
old
I'm
age.
coming to terms with it. So, all that to say is, I'm thrilled we're meeting again. And I'm
Yeah.
thrilled to bring your healing energy into my studio to my listeners to talk about something so very important that I myself am not so familiar with, but I am fascinated by. Please speak a little bit more about sound and music therapy, your interest in it, what you've done, and how we can help people heal pain and disease, anxiety and stress by this incredible method of healing.
Well, thank God that we're here. Thank you. And yeah, it's been quite a while. And every time we talk, it's like we never stopped. You know.
Pick up where we left off.
Exactly. There was no time gap in between.
Yeah.
So no, thank you, and thank you, Rose. She's hovering, and yeah, it's great to be here because the question that many time I ask myself, it's like, okay, like, and it's in a new stage all the time. It's like a circle. We go in a circle, and then I ask it, okay, so what what it is that I do? Why do I do this? Why do I do anything that I do? And the important and the most fulfilling part is when somebody is affected and either healed, or I can affect somebody's life, or I can affect somebody's presence. And so just a little bit about me. I'm a spiritual life coach and a sound therapist, and I help people manifest the life they want to manifest by understanding their spiritual journey. Because, Tova, everything physical has a spiritual reason and cause. And if somebody tells me that sometimes a banana is just a banana, also a banana needs a reason to be one. So it is it's understanding. So everything is a spiritual. Everything, and when I say spiritual, it is not religion. It is our journey, our journey of our spirit. To jump back to what you were talking about, the blood, and there is a very famous experiment by Dr. Masaru Emoto.
Yeah, and the rice and
Right?
the
And the
water.
rice and the water particle, and what do we say and what do we do, and that shows that our waves, what we speak, our power of our words, and when I say the power of the words, it's the intention behind the word. So think about the word as a car, and our intention is the driver. And so what we say affects what is happening on inside us and on the outside. If somebody is upset at you, or you guys are upset or whatever, and they just tell you, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. You said the words, but you don't believe the person. Why? Because it doesn't connect. The intention is not there, right? The intention of the person is not there. So, and it's all connected, and it is all connected. And so this experiment that that Masaru Emoto did is a modern depiction of what always was. For example, we bless, or I at least, or some people, we bless on the food that we eat. Why do we do that? Why do we bless the food that we eat? Well, because somebody's
I
sitting with a
usually think, yeah, I think it's to keep us mindful about who gave us the food,
okay,
or, mindful eating, like it just go ahead, but
yeah.
there's more to it.
There is more to it, because there was and I don't remember exactly, but it's something that I've seen. There was a professor in Jersey that had a student that was religious. Now, this professor would see auras. So when he would see auras, and I'm familiar with that, because this is something that has been in my work, to see the auras. So you see auras. So you see auras of people. You see different colors, but on food he always saw grayish kind of aura. And this religious person that was in the class and was sitting like maybe 10 rows or something like that away from the professor in the lecture, he took out an apple, he looked at it, and the aura changed of the fruit, and then he ate. So the professor didn't know, but after the class, he asked him, he said, what do you do? And the kid didn't know what he was talking about, because he didn't relate, he didn't think that he's talking about what he did with the apple, until he got to it, and he told him, I just said the blessing. Baruch atah Hashem, borei pri ha'etz,
The
brings fruit
apple
from the tree.
changed and
So
the aura
the
changed.
energy. So what we're doing when we're blessing and the intention is there, we are elevating the energetic field of the fruit of what we're eating. And it's almost like, in a way, serves its purpose. The fruit, or that comes, it serves its purpose, because the intention and the words that we say, the combination of the letters, right? The word was created with 10 utterances. So the combination of the letters, let it be light. Oh, the combination of these letters created a physical change.
Wow.
So now, when we're talking about pain, physical pain, right? Nefesh bria beguf bari, we're talking about something that is not aligned in our spiritual side of things, in our emotional or spiritual. I call it spiritual because the spiritual is an umbrella. It's an umbrella for what we feel, and what brought us to that feeling, and what we've experienced, and our journey, and our intention, and the contracts that we signed. You told me, esoteric, but it's sound, for example, is the combination of the esoteric and the science.
Yes,
Because
I have to interrupt you. I totally spaced about this, and I'm going to have to put it on my Facebook page. I
what?
completely, and I advertise it. I mean, I use it on social media a lot, but I did not make the connection in all humility. A couple years ago, my daughter and I took a lemon and cut it in half and put one lemon in one cup and one in another and put the word love and hate, and we
Ah,
spoke to each lemon.
oh
And a
wow,
week later, you could not believe it. I was like, oh my God, the FUCKING lemon has energy. I was blown away. And this is actually, I didn't think it was sound therapy, but I was
correlated. Yeah,
speaking words and I was using it about like loving ourselves, that we can't heal a body we hate. And if I look in the mirror and I don't like something, the body, like I'm not connecting it, but all of a sudden I'm seeing the absolute connection.
yeah.
Really,
Oh,
really,
fascinating. Thank God. That's
wow.
great.
Wow. I'll send you the pictures. I have them all over.
Please,
Wow.
please,
Wow.
yes. So this is where is esoteric and science meet, right? This is the junction point, like what you've experienced, because you
Yeah.
said, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and let's see what happens. The let's see what happens is physical. It's not because you don't have the intention of believing. So I'm going to say it, see what happens,
Yeah.
and then you
Wow.
see that, right? It's fascinating. Oh, my podcast, Abracadabra. We talked about this. Abracadabra is in Aramaic. I create evra kedabra. I create as I speak. It is from the beginning of time. Everything is energy. Everything is frequency. So, when we're talking about physical, we'll talk about physical. Every organ in our body, everything has a frequency. Everything, even the hair, even the scar, a scar tissue
What
has
do
a
you mean by
frequency.
frequency? Like a sound?
It's
Frequency,
it's a
I think
it's a movement of energy. It's like
a
when you look
movement,
at a
a
string of
movement of energy.
so when you look at a string of a guitar, right? Let's say I'll put a camera on a string of a guitar and I strum the string. You'll see the string like that. And some parts will be blurry, some parts will not be blurry, but you'll see that movement is creating that
So
frequency.
every organ, tissue, and gland in our body has movement. Oh,
Everything in the existence have movement. Even the table, the chair that we're sitting on,
yeah.
this bottle of water, we see it as solid, but it is all moves. Everything
Wow.
is moving. Everything is moving. We're in constant motion. So imagine if something stops moving, it stops. It ceases from existing. It's just like
Wow.
gone. It's like drops. It's like
Wow.
I don't even
And
know if
that's
it
what
drops
pain
because
and disease is, I think.
I'm
In a
sorry.
way, isn't that what pain and disease is? Like
Well,
blockage or compression or stop or not flowing or
bingo, boom, boom, boom. The last one. Okay, so let's talk on the physical, on the manifestation of not why the pain is caused as spiritual because there is, but actually, okay, now my back hurts. Okay, so my back or your leg or something hurts. What that means is that there is no flow. That there is no flow. That there is a deficiency, and the deficiency can be caused, for example, for overcompensation for something else. For example, when have you ever had like a leg where it was injured and you had to walk with crutches or stuff like that?
never,
Like,
but
okay,
go
but
ahead.
sometimes when you have some like a limb or something that is,
Yeah,
what happens? The other leg starts hurting. Why? Not the leg that is in pain, not the leg
right.
that is broken, all right,
The
but the
opposite.
other one. Why? Because it's overcompensating
Right,
for the leg, so it works extra. So it
right,
works extra, it works extra to compensate for the deficiency that is on the other side.
right,
So the physical pain that one experiences can be coming from many places, but for the most part, first of all, where it starts before that on an emotional and spiritual level, but it
right.
over but it compensates for something, and there is a lack of flow, and there is a lack of flow of energy, and there is a lack of flow of organs that communicate. What makes everything work? What makes all our body perfect when a baby comes out of the world? Well, when the baby comes out, everything works, right? For the
Well,
most part. For the most part.
yeah, I mean, like, look, you have the nervous system, which is an electrical system. You have the blood system, which is, I mean, they're all run by this
But they're
movement.
connected. But they're all connected. They all communicate, and yet they all operate separately,
Yeah,
right? They operate separately, but they all communicate. All channels are open. Everything is open. Broadcast is open. We
yeah,
can broadcast everything.
yeah.
But then there are certain channels that will be closed off. And certain channels will be closed off because of different things, because of traumas, because of way that we experience childhood, um, annoying things that we experience in childhood that affect parts in our body, emotional and in turn physical.
So the
Okay.
people, so the people that are suffering, okay, so they're blocked. There's a dam. There's no movement. There's no flow. I mean, we've coming from a medical model where medicine would make that area flow. Medicine would change the chemical flow. People would feel better. And now we're talking about another level because people are not getting better from the chemical, like they're like, because none of that chemical medical world is getting to the cause of the problem. And sometimes the cause is a deeper block.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just move a little bit more to the to the root of, so how does somebody use sound and their voice and their words to help them heal? Because honestly, what you and I are selling is self-healing. We're like, go heal yourself, go
Yeah.
do this, go apply what's been done for centuries and centuries. But you're not going to hear it in your doctor's office. It's not your doctor's fault. It's just not his what he studied. But you study it, and I'm learning about it because it's fascinating and people are healing. Talk more about how people can utilize some of these insights, short aside from music, which is of course sound, but how could they learn this self-healing method, and what do they need to do?
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't heal anybody. If you heal, it's your problem. Okay. So
It's your
that's
solution.
that's your problem.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
heal.
So let's talk about the voice, our voice. Okay, we hear when I talk, when you talk, you hear what you perceive, what we perceive to hear is a singular tone. Oh, that's his voice. That's your voice.
So that's
Okay.
a frequency, your voice.
Hold on. Everything is a frequency. So that's your so that's your voice. So you hear a single, you hear a single note. Oh, that's you recognize. How do you recognize somebody? Sometimes, or many times, you hear their voice.
The voice.
Oh, what happened? The voice. Now I can put a picture to the voice, but you recognize the voice, right? Because everything that compounds their voice is presented to you, and you hear as a single. But actually, it's it's a combination. The voice. Look at the voice like an arc from here. I'll do it on the screen. Make sure that the screen goes from here to here, right? And you are hearing the entire thing. But what happens many times when somebody is sick, for example, oh, you don't sound like yourself. What happens?
Mhm.
This went down, here went down, here went down, right? So think about all these arc like little buttons that you can press, like piano buttons that go like this, right? So you have two here down, two here down, two here down, two here down. Think like an equalizer. Oh, that's the best analogy. A stereo equalizer, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's your voice. From, let's say, if you have 32 channels or 10 channels, whatever, that's your voice. When you change the bass or the midsection or the high section, suddenly the whole music changes. You can get to a different person, so to speak, equalizer, just by moving certain sliders. But it's the same voice, but you're moving.
Hmm.
So what happens here? So our voice is a holographic representation of everything that we are.
Explain the word holographic.
Okay, so do you remember Star Trek?
I didn't watch. I wasn't a Star
Okay.
Trek person, but go ahead.
Oh, but beam me up, Scotty, right? So it's,
Yeah.
or you go into there was a room, it's called holodeck, and you go in like a virtual reality. You go in, think about the virtual reality, and you see everything. You see a world, but it's a representation. So our voice contains within the voice everything that we are, meaning our ups, our downs, our traumas, our effects, our pains, our
Wow.
current emotional state, the current emotional state. Our voice
In our
contains
voice.
everything in the voice.
Wow.
Our voice contains the information to analyze at that particular moment in time whether I speak the truth or not, whether I am connected to what I say. For example, I used earlier the example of somebody is upset with you and they tell you, "I'm sorry." Okay, I'm sorry. You don't. If you analyze the voice, which this is what I do, voice analysis as part of a sound treatment or
Mhm.
therapy treatment, you will see that the person is not connected to what they're saying. And in
Is
addition, you
that
can
what they're
tell,
doing with that test for the when they do it lie detector tests?
well, the lie detector is something else. It's a lie detector when they connect all the electrodes and stuff. They're recording
Your
body
nervous
reaction to
system.
certain
Yeah, yeah.
words, like nerve.
Because
It's
sound and
different.
when we see, when we listen, when we, I mean, it's all coming from, it's all happening from the brain. It's not like our ears listen, our brain listens, our
Well,
eyes.
our ears are tools.
Yeah.
Our ears
Right.
are tools, right?
Okay. I
They're
didn't
the
want to
auditory
interrupt you.
systems.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the mic that you're using now to connect to the internet.
Yeah.
The mic is a tool that
Yeah.
has all the right channels to be open to connect and for me to
So
hear
our
you and
voice
you to
is
hear
an
me.
indication of, look, it's almost like when you, it's not like reflexology when the foot has like the stomach is here and the eyes are here. That's different. That's called it. So that's a holo something, but it's not a hologram. But
No,
it's all,
I use that word to give you, or to give everybody, to give a kind of a representation of what it is, kind of to understand what a voice really is. It's not one thing, you know. Yes, the foot has access. There are many. It's not only the foot. Also, you have in the hands. You have different places
the
where you can access
ears,
different
the
place.
eyes.
Yes, exactly. But you can have everything. Everything is in the voice. All that we're talking about, everything is in the voice. Now, part of the way that I work with people, first of all, we sit and maybe they'll give you kind of an idea of how things are. First of all, we talk. I hate texts, by the way. Some clients decide at the beginning they want to do texts. I say no. Let's uh,
Wow.
let's let's talk, because when you type something, and that's something that we work on communication when I work with people in communication, and it is a work, and sound is not just work for, oh, I have pain, I'm going to deal with this. I use this as a tool to work with people on relationship with themselves, relationship with other people, and their own relation to each of these relationships,
Wow.
communication, self-growth, self-empowerment, understanding of their own journey. I mean, this is not only, oh, let's deal with physical pain, because physical pain, the way that I see that and the way that it has been proven over and over again, is a representation of what's really going on. Now, I'm not talking about a
I
viral
love that. Say that again.
infection.
The physical pain is a
Oh, I said it
representation of
already.
what's going on. I
Of
mean,
what's going on
it's a
inside,
reflection of, yeah. Yeah.
of what's going on
Yeah.
on other different levels. Because remember the foot analogy. The foot analogy is meaning it's compensating for something. So the body doesn't know how to contain that energy. So it's like
Wow.
pukes something that
Wow.
I can't handle it. I can't deal with this, right?
Wow.
So so we talk first when I start working with somebody. So we start talking, and I could already tell the fluctuations of the voice and what is going on there. And then it depends on what we need to do. I work with Tibetan bowls. I work with music, and we'll talk about this. I work with binaural beats. Now, I'll talk about binaural beats and bioacoustics healing, bioacoustics engineering. What bioacoustics is combining literally the esoteric and the science. And it is taking a voice sample of you, of the person, a couple of voice samples, and I input it into the computer and analyze the voice. And the voice brings a range of, and the sample brings a range of issues that are happening. Now, everything is dynamic because today you will sound different than tomorrow. Notice that in the morning you sound different than in the afternoon because also your voice cords are more relaxed and everything, and you will see your emotional movement of yourself throughout the day. Like
So
you can feel
interesting.
great during the morning and you can feel oomph in the afternoon and you can feel fantastico in the evening, right? Especially if you go to Italy and eat some good pasta, right? So,
Just off the record, both of our daughters are, my daughter's in music school in Jerusalem. She's a singer.
oh, okay.
And she's like,
Wow.
she sounds like Bonnie Raitt. She's like got this Bonnie Raitt, and she sings Nina Simone. And I'm thinking this is deeper than what I even realized. The voice, I mean, the singing, the voice
Yeah.
expression. Wow.
When singing or when doing music, you are creating neuron. When you are creating new music, you have new neurons creating neural pathways. You have pathways that are being created. Music is calming. Music. I mean, there's so many.
Humming. I had a client. He was in so much pain. I hope he's better today. I just had him humming. I had him humming. Hum. Just go into your parasympathetic nervous
Exactly.
system. You
So part
know.
of part of the work that I do is finding your home note. And
Wow.
finding your home note. Okay, let's do an exercise. All right.
Okay.
If you're watching, the most relaxed.
Anybody in the studio wants to come in and be a dugma example.
Well,
Come
the
into the
most.
studio. You can be. I don't need to be the example. You
No, no,
can
no,
be
no.
it.
It's not about. It's not, that's okay. You don't have to get. Don't be nervous. That's fine. Your voice changed. No. Okay. So. Like the most relaxed, your voice, the most comfortable position of your body. And when you hum this, you can feel it in your entire body. I can feel my belly vibrating, even my hips vibrating. I feel my arms. Now I'm talking, so I'm putting an effort into it. But I use that, for example, when I don't feel well. When I don't feel well, or I remember as a kid, before I knew anything from anything. Actually, I knew more then, but I than now. But anyway, it's a whole different.
Anything. Let's go back to the anything.
Yeah. So no, we know more when we're kids. We're just blocked because of all
Yeah.
the surroundings, the stories that
Yeah.
we're born into, right?
Yeah.
Um, when I was sick and I would have fever, I was go like this, and it calms.
Wow.
Why? Ask why.
Why?
Okay, I'm glad that you asked. If
Why?
you wouldn't ask him, okay. So, because this is your home note.
No, I was thinking. I thinking.
This is
Kids do it
your. This
naturally.
is. This is.
It's your
This
home
is your
notes.
equilibrium. This is your home note. To hit it and then go play it on the piano or the guitar. Why? Because everything correlates also to the music scales, just like the chakras. Everything is correlating to the music scale. So, for example, don't show it yet, but I'll do that in a second. So, for example, and I'm looking at something, and soon we'll show it. When I do the voice analysis, it brings a range of options. It brings a range of things that are going on. So, for example, if you have bones issues, you have joints issues, okay, then it'll show a deficiency in certain areas,
Wow.
and it'll show the note, the frequency of that note that is needed in order to
So you
to
can tell if
replenish.
somebody's not talking to you about their pain and they hum, you can tell where they're in pain.
sound is the only modality that can tell the facilitator or the treater what's wrong with you before you even may know it.
Whoa.
Right. So and with the physical, so if you have a bones, you have with that with particular notes, you have emotional correspondence, or what compensate, or what is on the other side of things. For example, if you're too empathetic, right? What is too empathetic? Somebody who is on the chesed more, on the right side of the tree of life, if you will, or the Sefirot, that is only chesed, that doesn't know how to say no. So
Right.
somebody who doesn't know how to say no to external influences will eventually experience physical pain. Why?
Yeah, because
Because that is suppressing a lot of things
yes,
that
Barnett talks about people pleasers. It's the same
exactly,
thing.
exactly. That also leads to depression many times. So if you bring up the slide that I have there,
Okay. I'm going to go down so you can look at, so it'll be
that's good. That's
bigger.
good. That's good. I mean, okay, there we go. So this is the note of G. So the note of G is the fifth in the scale, the solfeggio scale, like do re mi fa sol la ti do, do sol do. I mean G, and it is the heart note. This is a heart area note. It's the fifth note, and you see the color green also is a representation of the heart chakra. And it tells me also with the voice analysis, it's not only the sound that is administered or said, okay, we need to apply sound and we need to apply certain frequencies, but also what minerals is the body missing? What is the equivalent? You can take the slide down and come back.
See,
There she is.
on it,
So
I see on it, it said like what physical things could be wrong. So each note is related to a physical.
each note is
Wow.
related to different ailments. So, but also what I
Wow.
start saying is that it's not only the sound frequencies that are administered, but also what minerals are missing from the body. So there's a process of analyzing
Wow.
that two or three 30-second sound samples that I take and analyze that and bring that
Wow. That's beautiful.
what is needed, right? So so when we are looking at anything, again, where does it go? It goes back to the spiritual. It goes back to the spiritual. Everything is spiritually correlated or originated from, right? So
Wow.
I started
Wow.
saying something and then I went off with that.
Yeah,
I
it's
forgot about
okay.
that. But
You're in
but
the moment.
we'll get.
Well, let's, like I
Oh, I
said to
know.
you, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I mentioned a little bit binaural beats, and you
Yeah.
mentioned theta healing,
And
right? All right.
yeah, and also I'm going to say, because so many of people that I speak to are incorporating into their healing process, like the Joe Dispenza meditations or other sound meditations, or, the big healing power was I'm blanking on his name, but they it's very big in that in the big organization Gala. They're
Just talk about the
promoting
whole thing. It'll come to you. Don't
they're
worry.
promoting it's all sound therapy. They're promoting I forget the name of this South American healer, whatever, became very popular. His it was sound. It was all sound. It was all this kind of meditation. It was all these binaural
Yeah.
beats. It was I'm blanking on the
So
name.
so
Um,
so you talked about theta, right? You talked about theta. So the theta, being in the theta state, it has a certain frequency. Has a certain frequency of between, I think, between four. It's between 4 and 9. It's that's the range. Now we mentioned the ears, but our auditory systems cannot hear below 20 hertz and above 20,000 hertz or 20 kilohertz, right? That's a range. That's what we can hear. So how can I hear 4 hertz or 5 hertz? And that's where binaural beats come in, and that's where I use different bowls and different techniques to elicit it. So, for example, what I would do, I would put, for example, 205 hertz on one ear and 200 on the other ear. And look at this. The brain will automatically create in the head the interval of 5 hertz. So you have 205 that does what it does. So, for example, I can play 285, which 285 hertz is actually this ball is 285 hertz. So this ball actually 285 hertz targets cuts and bruises on the cellular level, because sound works on the cellular and on the emotional level. So it sends messages to the cells and to the brain to heal that part.
Wow.
So I can put 285 on one ear and 280 on another ear, and the brain will automatically draw the 5 hertz automatically. So now you hear 3 frequencies. You hear 3 frequencies. So you hear the 280, the 285, and the 5. Now, you didn't hear it from your auditory systems, but you heard it by putting these 2 sounds, and the brain automatically draws the 5. And that's what binaural beats are. So now, for you who are listening, you can go to my YouTube channel. That's, I don't know if you have it there, but the YouTube channel is just put my first and last name, youtube.com/iLan Azoulai. And then I have there different playlists of different things that I do. But one of them is the sound therapy. And there are some sessions that I do there and frequencies to frequent music, frequencies that are embedded within music. So because it's hard to just lay down and to hear to like constantly.
But let me interrupt like I do. Here's the key, because people, if they're in pain and they're trying to focus on the meditation, they're trying to focus on their breath, they're in such pain, and so they focus on the pain. And the research is that if you focus on your breath, you're not going to feel the pain. I mean, this is the research. So how do we help our listeners and our clients to practice that focus on the sound or their breath? Is there a tip or a tool?
Well, first of all, listen to it.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, listen to it. Look, you need to make yourself comfortable as physically as much as possible, because we can talk about the esoteric or the spiritual from here till tomorrow, but still the pain is there, right? So the pain is there. So do what you need to, first of all, be comfortable. Let's say you're going to listen to something.
Yeah.
So first of all, listen to it.
Now I'm talking about someone who can't get comfortable because they're so focused from fear. How would you find a way for them to shift? Because it's like putting I always call it, a lens of safety, putting a different set of glasses. Like, what do you do if someone's just in an enormous amount of pain? None of the medicine's working. It's just they're in pain because they're full of fear. So it's the fear pain cycle.
This is an acute situation.
Yeah.
So it's
not an acute situation. This is not someone who was just injured. It's chronic pain in an acute flare up because of their fear.
Yeah. So this is somebody who I would definitely give a lot of personal attention. First of all, the personal attention helps a lot. I mean, you can send somebody to listen to here, to there, but if you are in pain, you cannot just sit and write something.
No, exactly.
You can't do anything.
No, of course.
I have a little twitch in my thing. I'm like, I can't do this until I fix this. I'm like, you can't, right? So personal attention, when you have somebody near you, like, do you talk to that person? Are you talking about somebody
we're zooming and talking on the phone, and he always is better when I'm there talking. But when he's on his own,
there we go.
He's on his own, it's hard for him.
I understand. So this is the first thing. This is the first thing to do. That's also screw text. Talk to the person, because the sound waves. How you sound will help that person.
Wow.
How you sound, because you are reverberating. Yeah. You are reverberating your own frequency outside. That's why we say, for example, don't talk lashon hara, don't talk negative things or anything. Why? Because we're reverberating energies. It's like a pebble, right? It's all the same. You talk to the person, suddenly the person is not in pain. Why? Because they're talking to you. Because they're putting their attention here. So when there is pain and there is nobody around, you're not motivated. There is
Yeah.
no, and beating yourself up for not being motivated is adding to the non-motivation of the beating
Exactly.
up and just get a
Yeah.
stick.
Yeah.
It's so talk to the person. That's why also when you were listening to the tapes, somebody speaks, there is music behind. The music is not just the music of anybody. It's probably binaural beats music. Some if I'm going to talk to somebody and I want to instill confidence and to encourage empowerment and to talk to the person about how great they are, I'll make sure to put the frequencies that are going to support the words that I'm going to tell the person or
Yeah.
work with the person. Or
So
when
maybe this
somebody
person
walk
should have music on all the time
all
or
the
sound
time.
sound so they can keep trying to focus on it, keep trying to focus on it.
Listen,
Wow.
listen. When many people come to me and they tell me I don't believe in this. Well, not many, but some do. I don't believe in sound. So you don't have to believe in anything. Just be open to something that you're not familiar with. That's it.
I love it.
That's it. You don't
Yeah.
need to, because listen, whether you believe it or not, sound will do the work. You don't have to believe, quote unquote, believe it, And believe has many explanations. In Hebrew, believe is also putting your trust in somebody. Le'amin, to put emun, right? It's not just, oh, I believe, Oh,
Yeah.
that's what means to believe in somebody, in God, in a person. You put your trust in them, right? But you don't have to. Just come. And if the person falls asleep, it's even better. Why? Because there is less resistance. There's no
Wow.
resistance. So when people are apologizing for falling asleep, I said, no, you got even the best thing because there is no resistance. Your
Yeah.
mind is not operating. Your fears are not operating. Your how do you call it? Questioning your doubts nothing
Doubts.
is working.
Yeah.
Everything is open like a baby. Everything is
Yeah.
talking to one another you
Yeah.
know everything is
Yeah.
talking to one another. So for that person, first of all, and I'll be happy if I'll be happy to send more links and more links
Mhm.
to certain things, depends on what it is. And anybody can send me messages and ask me questions. I'll be more than happy to, more than
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
I'll even raise a flag as I speak.
No, of course.
So
So are you zooming? Are you zooming and doing sessions on Zoom
I do,
also?
I do sessions virtually. I don't. I use different platforms than the Zoom, but yes, I have high quality mics that are set up that pick up all the frequencies, not all the frequencies, but most of the frequencies, because the mics can pick up all the frequencies, but then we're going through a certain channel. So I work on a very high speed internet, more than usual. So I have more bandwidth and there
Wow.
is less lag time. But then it depends also on the person that is receiving it. And so I always, you have to have, I don't like when it's like, oh, I'll just put a speaker. No, no, no. You have to have good headphones. This
Yeah.
is good also, but if you have good over ear headphones to lay down when I
It's
speak, because I
better.
use also voice therapy. So I speak certain things in certain frequencies and in certain way to combine with the sound, and so over the ear and to lay down, so you don't have, like, because when you sit you're actually working, because you have to sit upright. Doesn't matter if you're laying on the thing, on the chair, you're still holding yourself in balance, right? So you're actually doing something, so some part of your body is moving and actively doing
Yeah.
physical thing. to
Wow.
lay down to lay down. There are also breathing techniques that I work with. There is I can share with you. Before we start work, we drink tea.
All right. You have this specialty. Tell me about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So
What's special
and
about it?
remind me and remind
High
me.
tea. High
Yeah,
tea.
exactly.
I
Remind.
remembered.
I want to talk. I want to talk about the breathing. Okay. So tell me that after that. So high tea. I make tea from herbs and plants that I sift through and I put together, and all these plants are promoting certain things. So it's mostly heart opening, different chakras activation, body
Wow.
presence. So I have three kinds. It's called high tea. Then I have open heart, which is a heart opener. The main ingredient is sassafras tree, which is a heart opener.
Wow.
And there's hawthorn. There are different plants. There are cloves. There are different plants that are promoting certain activations. Then I have love sanity, which is also an open heart, but it also has Schisandra pills, not pills, what do you call them?
Buds?
Mullets, like buds. Thank you. Then that works on your sacral chakra, right? Your sacral chakra is your second chakra, the sexuality, creativity, vitality, the juice, right? Your thing, right? And then this one, for example, is breathe easy, and it's open heart, but it also has a plant called mullein. Now, one of the big things that is prolonging infections or sickness is mucus, and mullein removes
Wow.
that. It removes mucus, removes any kind of. It works on your respiratory system, especially
Wow.
after the coronic era and all this
Yeah.
thing that we were sold about. Uh,
No politics.
no, it's not politics. It's
I
it's it's
know.
really this corona thing is really
It's not.
it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you only about this.
Yeah.
It actually affects your pineal gland and it affects your own equilibrium. The 5G affects the note of Earth. I have one of my programs, one of my podcasts. I brought one of my teachers, sound teachers from Ohio, and we're talking about the sound and what the 5G does. Actually, it's in depth, scientific and fascinating, and it's so really. If you really want to know more about this, then we can talk about this breathing technique. So there is a Kabbalistic breathing technique. It's based on the word chedva. Do you know the word chedva?
What's the name, Chedva?
Chedva is a name, but the word chedva is, you know, in Hebrew, happiness has 20 synonyms. Synonyms? 20 different. Yeah,
Synonyms.
synonyms, yeah. Osher, simcha, gil, ditza. There are many. One of them is chedva. And chedva is the initial interception of joy. It's like when you see something that makes you extremely happy, or anything that is causing that moment, that split of a second before you go into that place. It's the time that takes between you seeing it and connecting to the brain to bring you to that state. It's when you go up on a roller coaster, just before you hit the big drop, your ass leaves the chair for 2 seconds. That's the thing. So chedva, it's like a knife, right? And so that's the initial. So the breathing meditation for that is to breathe in 8, chet, 8, to hold for 4, to exhale for 6, vav, and to hold for 5. Now, in the
Wow.
beginning, you have to focus on that. And with breathing, many people, where do they breathe from?
Their chest, not their
But we have to breathe
belly.
from our belly like babies to
Yeah.
expand our belly. So if you don't know how to do that, just lay on your back, put a book, not too heavy, but heavy enough, and focus and look at your head and make sure that your chest don't move, just your belly, just belly pushes the book up.
Ah,
Okay?
it's a good one.
Okay? So that's how you practice. So before you practice the chedva, practice breathing only from your belly. Only from your belly like that, right? So, and then you count, breathe in for 8, hold for 4, exhale for 6, hold for 5. Now, if you speak Hebrew, visualize these words because you have 8 and 4 and then 6. and then 5. You
Wow.
have elements of masculinity and femininity in the same
Wow.
word, and so everything is connected. So
Yeah.
that's something that somebody can practice and see how that helps. For that person that you were talking about that has constant
Yeah.
chronic pain, I really could see that person listening to a lot of music, and if not to listen to a lot of music, and if you can find binaural beats, you can find anywhere binaural beats. Binaural, Binaural, binaural
Wow.
beats, and find the one that soothes you, because the frequencies will be on the underneath the music, under the bed of music, and on top there will be different kind of music, but they're all in the same frequency and the same to support those binaural beats. And with sound, it is not a once bang and that's it. Sound needs to be repetitive in order for it to be
Wow.
constantly to create an effect. Think about a rock that you see a waterfall and you see a dent in the rock. The dent in the rock came from the water on it. So the question is, does the first drop matter? Before the rock had a dent, first drop. It matter if it continues. If there is only
Right.
one drop, then
Right.
nothing happens to the rock. So
Well, it's also just neurologically, we
yeah,
we we need to repeat things many times for new wires to, wires
yes,
together,
yeah,
fires together.
yeah.
We need to, and they say it takes, I don't know the number, it's
40
depressing.
days.
40
It's 40 days
days.
to change. 40
Yeah.
days, 40 nights in the Mount of Sinai,
40
40
days.
years in the
Yeah.
desert.
It's
It's
good. 40 days. I like
40,
it.
40. It's all
But,
connected.
hope, but like it's we go 10 days and we're like, why aren't I changing? Like, the woman who's sitting there like, why isn't it working? Why aren't I feeling peaceful?
And you scream at it, and you scream at it, right?
There needs to be enormous patience. And
Yeah.
listen, this field is very difficult. We're working with people in,
And and it is very important what we put in our body, flat out.
regarding
Food or
food.
otherwise. Food, yes. Food, of course, food. I mean, we're eating,
Yeah.
we're eating,
The gas in our body.
we're eating. I muted myself so I don't say the word.
We're eating crap.
We're eating,
We're
yeah. I
eating,
mean, so what do we
yeah.
eat? What do we put in our body?
But
How do we
I'd
support that?
like to say on
Yeah,
the record, I believe that the thoughts trump everything. That I could even eat toxin. I could even get a COVID vaccine, which I'm not interested in, and I'm not vaccinated. I could even get a
good.
vaccine poisons, and I could even transfer that out of
Yes,
me because of the thoughts. So I think
yes,
no matter what's going on,
yes,
the thoughts trump everything.
yes. You're absolutely right. Thoughts are frequencies too. Everything is a frequency, right? Thoughts are,
We're
yes, yes, you could do that. And not everybody can do that. So sometimes before, if we have issues starting from the inside, we take it the outside to trigger the inside to work in. So the outside will be the food that we put in. So somebody who is not able to, let's say, clean the toxins or whatever with thoughts and intentions and all this, because they're constant in a constant state of fear and a constant state of scarcity, and sometimes we need the outside to stimulate, like when
wow.
procrastination, for example. Procrastination is really a coping mechanism. It's not anything. It's coping. But to move out of procrastination, sometimes you just go wash dishes. Just do something. Just go do something. Go walk. Go take a walk. Why? Because we are starting. We're doing something else that will trigger the inside. The sentence in Hebrew, "Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila." An end of an action starts with a thought. Sof ma'aseh, first במחשבה. But it could be also the other way around. סוף מחשבה בתחילת מעשה. end of a thinking can be by the beginning of something,
Exactly.
right? So food can be a great stimuli and also great thing. What do we put in our body? Like instead of sugar, for example, I haven't used sugar in I don't remember how many years already. What I use is
Wow.
monk fruit. Just monk fruit. It's the plant, it's a Chinese plant, and it tastes better than sugar. And that's it. It's all that
Wow.
it looks like sugar, but it's monk fruit, you know?
Wow.
And I tried to find it in Israel and I couldn't find it when I was there. Monk fruit
Interesting.
is the best out of everything else.
Wow. It's good
And
to
it's and
know.
it's and it's less than it's great.
It's
Monk,
good to know.
MONK, like the monks, like
Yeah.
right? Hey,
Yeah.
monk fruit.
Yeah.
And so that, for example, so find the things that you can do to help you trigger you,
Yeah.
right?
To help what do you mean to help you trigger you?
Find the things that will help you to trigger the inside of you, to trigger
Yeah.
you. So find things from the outside to trigger you. Find the helpers. We have helpers. Everything here is here to help us. Everything in this wonderful creation is here to help us. So let's use that. Let's
Yeah.
embrace that and everything.
Yeah.
So the food. So fried. I mean, the basic can go to the fried food. Also, when I do voice analysis, we talk about what is like if you have too many fats. Like it'll show. It'll say
Yeah.
all these things.
Yeah.
What are things to? What are things to?
I'm going to shift a little bit because we have to
Yeah.
leave in a few minutes. But
Okay.
what do you think is happening in the frequency in a person who has cancer? What's going on in their frequency? Because Dr. Natobuto, who's
Yes.
an Israeli,
Yeah. Yeah.
an Arab,
Yeah.
a wonderful, incredible Arab Israeli heart doctor who's become more a healer. He also plays this amazing instrument. And he talks about cancer being a cry of the soul. So what's
Like everything else, cancer is a manifestation of what doesn't work inside. And it came to such a point that it became so unbelievably dangerous and toxic, and comes in the form of cancer. I had a patient that she was already stage 4. Was a mother of somebody. She was already stage 4. She was on constant, like a whole table full of medications. So like she had to take every 2 hours. She had to take crap load of medications just to ease her pain. Like every 2 hours on the dot. You cannot pass that. For 24 around the clock. Every 2 hours she could not. And
wow,
and her daughter asked me to come and to do sound therapy on her. That was, and I was like, you know what? I'm just coming. I'm just doing. I'm not. I just. So I did an hour and a half session work on her, and for 24 hours she did not touch one pill.
unbelievable.
One pill. It was I was blown away.
Wow,
But she was
wow,
also very exhausted afterwards. She was very
wow,
exhausted, and she asked me to come and pray there, and there was a lot of things.
wow,
But for 24 hours, this woman passed away now, because like 4 days later or 3 days later, she already passed away. It was really at the last.
whoa.
She did not need any pain medication, and there are it just raised my humble level to understand the creator, the
Yeah,
God. Is like, oh, thank you. Wow, what
yeah,
what what a gift do we have here, and what a
right.
privilege do I have
And we can do
to
that
to
ourselves.
do
So,
this.
like, this is like what's so beautiful is that, and I'd love you to leave something with our listeners. Like, what can we do? Of course, we can go to a sound therapist. We can, you know, order Joe Dispenza you know, binaural, beats.
Well,
So we can
yeah.
do all this. But what can we do to start to teach ourselves and train ourselves? Is it humming? Is it just believing, understanding?
So
Like, give us
so
some.
so so what we're doing here is just a tip of the ice. It's like we're stirring the soup in a deli that's set for all day, right? We're just stirring the soup, right? We're just stirring. stirring the soup. Really, I mean, so it has to be continuous. So find somebody. I work with people across oceans and
Mm.
anybody that can start you on some kind of regular coming together. If that person will guide you, like I would, if somebody will ask me, like a client would ask me, well, I want to get a sound boss. Great, let's work. Let's discover what is your home note, or something that will cultivate that, and we'll get you a ball, right? Hey, you
Beautiful.
want a ball? Want one? Yeah. So we'll get a ball, and so what you can do is when you get a sound ball, I can't do it here, but I mean that. But you lay. Remember, we talked about the breathing. You lay and you put it on you. So I'm holding it
Yeah.
so it doesn't fall.
Yeah.
But when you lay down, it won't fall. You just put it on you, and you make sure you don't have any buttons, right? So
Yeah.
it's clear. Or even if bare skin, that'll be the best.
Oh, wow.
And just allow the vibration to just.
Right.
So, for example, that person that you were talking about is chronic pain, right? If we can get together, we'll find him a bowl, or we can find somebody in Israel to get them a bowl that is cultivating healing for the pain based on
Wow.
what he's experiencing or she is experiencing,
Yeah.
and also maybe is correlating to their home note,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you just do that. There is never too much. There
Yeah.
is never too
So,
much.
yeah,
Yeah,
I really need to
and the
bring you back
breathing, and
for
the
part two
breathing,
and the
and
breathing.
yeah,
And breathing is sound, and breathing is frequency, and breathing is energy, and breathing is there's a sound in energy. And that's what the humming is. And there's so much here that it's so rich, it's so wonderful. And so I need to leave a little bit early tonight, but we will meet again because there's so much to talk to,
amen.
and there are people that have been in the studio. There's no questions coming in right now, but
Yeah,
I'm going to post this around. It's going to be on my YouTube. It's going to be connected to you. And I would love to share some things on my Facebook page. Maybe you can send me this chart. And
well,
I'm
this chart
just
won't mean much because
won't
there are
mean much,
more
but
than
maybe
one.
some
Yeah, there are more than one
information.
because each note has
It's right,
won't
right.
mean much without the actual work that I'm doing. But we can
Exactly.
talk
So
about
I
other
am
things.
just thrilled and happy to reconnect with you. And though
Amen.
we are
Yes.
oceans away, I know that we probably knew each other in a past life, and 5 degrees
Oh,
we're related
definitely,
anyway.
definitely,
But I'm
definitely.
so happy that you blessed my studio with your sounds.
Oh,
And
thank
anyone is
you.
interested to even just chat with you for a little bit, they can call you and you'll just say,
Absolutely,
Doc Tovah sent you. Because even just to educate people, that is
absolutely,
we're
absolutely. Would love to.
messengers, you and
Would
I.
love to. Thank you
So have
so
a great
much.
day. Bye,
Thank you
my
for
dear.
everybody here, and thank you, Tova. Bye bye.
Bye bye.